Continue live right here, Pittsburgh CW. Bob Pompeani and first-time Ireland contracting sports call member Andrew Fillipponi is here. You hear him every day on the Fan. He also has his national show, and you did that today, right?
I did. We did Antonio Brown.
Everyone's doing
Antonio
Brown.
You can't get away from it, Bob.
You cannot get away from it. And guess what? We have a lot of people on the line, so let's get right to it. It's the Borders and Borders hotline. Tweet us also at KDPomp, at the Pony Express. Josiah, who is one of our favorite callers in San Antonio, Texas. Hey, Josiah, what's up?
Hey, Bob, how you doing? And hey, Andrew, I used to call you and Ryan.
Yeah, what's up, Josiah? How are you, brother?
I'm doing all right, and yourself?
Good.
I just want to talk about the article from Ryan Cook. It was outstanding, right on the money today in the Post-Gazette. My thing with the HBO show with Antonio Brown, if you notice, everybody's just associated with that show. They're all sitting around these chairs acting like they're the victim. Now, Antonio Brown did not once talk about the MRI he skipped, and he's trying to make it seem like Tomlin just told him to go home. And my other question is this: when he keeps opening his fat mouth, just spilling off like that, doesn't he know that's hurting his trade value? And could there be a situation where the Steelers are stuck with him because they can't do anything for him?
They're not going to release him. They made that clear. Thanks, Josiah, for the call. As far as the other parts of that, number one, nobody challenged anything that he had done. And there was a lot to challenge this year in particular. And yet it was almost like, oh, that doesn't matter.
Well, that barbershop thing is about empowering
athletes. I'm talking
athletes.
About Jeff Darlington.
Yeah, the ESPN article, there was no... That's how you get in Antonio Brown's house. You tell him it's going to be a fluff interview.
Didn't you say that his agent is also Antonio's agent?
I heard that Rosenhaus has a relationship with Darlington, and that helped
it had to be
make that interview possible.
They're not going to go with anyone who doesn't want to.
But to Josiah's question, I don't think Antonio Brown cares about the trade value. Why would he? As long as he gets a fresh start or he's on a new team.
Not necessarily.
Do you think he cares?
How about if he goes to Washington? There are only a couple teams now left, it looks like.
I understand
You're
that.
going to play for Dan Snyder and maybe Josh Johnson or Colt McCoy as your quarterback. You watch what happens in week 15
I don't think he cares if the Steelers trade a second-round pick or a third-round pick.
No, he doesn't.
What's the difference?
Right. And
if Washington says, hey, you're now the crown jewel or the prize pig of our offense. We want to reward you with $40 million guaranteed. Do you think he's going to care if it's Alex Smith or Colt McCoy throwing him the ball? That's what this is all about. He's 31 years old. He's trying to get one more big contract before he retires, and I think that's motivating a lot of the shenanigans and the stuff we're seeing from him right now.
And apparently winning does not matter.
No, I don't think it does.
If winning mattered, then he would want to be on a specific team.
He'd want to be here.
Right. Larry Fitzgerald said it best yesterday, Andrew. He was interviewed and he said...
He called him Mr. Big Chest.
He did. And everyone, including himself, is calling him Mr. Big Chest. But Mr. Big Chest has very thin skin, though, with regard to some of this stuff. Because you can't... be careful what you wish for. But you're right. If it's about money, he doesn't care where it goes. It's about the money.
Yeah, one of the biggest lies he told in this thing is he wants to go to a winning team with camaraderie and chemistry. It's about green. It's about dollars. It's not about great quarterback play and... camaraderie.
Mike and Weirton, you're next up here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, guys. First time caller.
Appreciate it.
I just want to make a couple comments about the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
We went 15 years to 95 before we got into the Super Bowl. And we didn't get back in there until 2005 when we finally got a quarterback that could throw the football downfield and extend plays. And as far as Brown goes, if he don't find a quarterback that can extend plays, he ain't going to get half the catches he got. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
I just think it's just about quarterback in general. They're the most important people, and that's one thing that I think Antonio Brown also cannot come to grips with, that the quarterback is more important than any wide receiver. The wide receivers don't want to hear that, but it's the truth.
And Ben trusts him in situations where the play breaks down. Ben knows that he can count on Antonio Brown, and that's because of years of trust and chemistry that they've developed between the two of them. And if he starts fresh with, say, a Jimmy Garoppolo or a Derek Carr, he's not going to have that. His numbers next year are not going to be as good as they were this past season. I would be shocked if that's the case.
I agree, for a lot of different reasons. Ron and Duquesne, you're on the Sports Call. Hey, Ron.
Hey, guys. Hey, Andrew, what's up, man?
What's up?
You are the best. Thanks. I want to say this real quick.
Nationally known,
the
locally owned.
best chance that Antonio Brown or Le'Veon Bell had of getting the Super Bowl championship is with the Steelers. And I want to ask you one question. What team do you think will be dumb enough to pick up Antonio Brown? Because just like you said, Andrew, this ain't nothing but a payday for him. Thanks, guys.
There's always somebody out there dumb. and willing to do it. Look at Dan Snyder's history with some of the free agent signings he's made.
Yeah, Bruce Smith, Deion Sanders.
Albert Haynesworth.
Albert Haynesworth. He's collected like fantasy football players.
This fits right into that.
It would. No, it absolutely would. I think that you've got to look for a team that's desperate, that has nothing to lose.
Right.
You know, a team that has salary cap space, money to burn, hasn't won a championship, and thinks Antonio Brown might be the missing piece, or he's at least someone that we can build our team around and sell tickets with.
Let's go. Well, and there are teams like Oakland's one.
There are.
Oakland needs that, moving to Vegas eventually. Let's go to Pete in Squirrel Hill. What's up, Pete? How are you tonight?
Hey, gentlemen, how are you tonight?
Hey, Pete.
Hey, Bob, a quick question, if you could maybe help me understand this. About broadcasting, Jim Nantz obviously has been CBS top dog for a number of years. NFL football, NCAA basketball championships, and golf.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed this year, Bob, jumping around the channels and everything, he's been doing golf for NBC. I'm not aware of anybody doing that in the broadcast media.
That's Dan
Okay,
Hicks.
go ahead.
If you're talking about who, Dan Hicks sounds a lot like him. Dan Hicks, are you referring to today?
Yes.
No, that's Dan Hicks. That's not Jim Nantz. Dan
That
Hicks
wasn't
is,
Jim Nantz today. It sounds exactly like
right.
him.
He sounds exactly like him. He's really good. I like Dan a lot too, but no, that's not him.
Well,
And if
that's
you
why I
do
was
see him
calling,
on-
because I was unaware you could work for two different broadcast
No.
groups at the same time.
If you do see him on NBC related anything, it would be on the Golf Channel, owned by NBC. But they also do, when events go long and they have to dump out of CBS to go there, that's where they go.
Some of those guys do that, though. Like Kevin Harlan does Turner
but that's not
and CBS, but not
he's a
local
freelance
networks.
you know, and he does what he has to do. Yeah. So, but yeah, Nance is great. By the way, did you see the golf today? Do you like golf?
I do. I'm not good at it, but I.
But you saw that today.
I
That
did
was
not.
great. Oh.
I saw your highlights.
Yeah, they were. I'm telling you, it was tremendous golf. I wish you. If you're gonna hear long enough, you're gonna turn into a golfer. I promise you that. 412-575-2600 is the number to call. Andrew Fillipponi in the hot seat tonight. We'll take more of your calls when we return right here live on Pittsburgh CW.